Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, everyone. How are you on this fucking Arctic cold morning, which is Christmas? I swear to God, I think like the whole country got to pay an electric bill or it's global warming or whatever shit's going on. But whoever pissed off Elsa and needs to make up for it, okay? Because this shit, no one likes this Arctic blast, freeze, whatever the fuck Elsa's doing. I think there's a battle between Elsa and Sub-Zero. I don't know, but they need to stop that shit because I need my heat back because I'm freezing up here in Atlanta. Okay, so welcome to Tickle Lounge. I am your lovely host. My name is Sweet Piggy. And for those that are new, thank you for checking out my podcast and this episode. You're going to find out this is a shit show. There's no organization, there's nothing. So you're expecting like professionalism, whatever like that. You need to go to another podcast because it ain't it. For those that are fellow listeners and followers and part of the fam, welcome back, fam. How are you guys doing? So I know it's been about 2 weeks that you hear it from me, and the reason for that is because my adorable little son was here last week, and I don't do anything remotely related to my fetish or anything like that, including my podcast. Because you know what's going to happen as soon as I start? You, mommy, I want this. And then he goes back, you, mommy, can you help me with this? And I start talking, you, mommy, can you do this? It's going to be that nonstop. So I was like, no, I need him gone so I can actually give all you guys my focus and energy and everything else like that. So that's the reason why you guys didn't hear from me last week. So I deeply apologize, y'all. So let me tell you how my week went. Well, I guess my 2 weeks has gone. So the guy that I was dating, that's done. Very short-lived. I have very short-lived relationships, as you can tell. I am a person that believes that you should protect your peace, and that if you see a pattern of toxic behavior with an individual, you gotta cut that out of your life. We do not need toxic people in our life because life is way too fucking short for that shit. And this guy showed very toxic behavior of alcoholism. So many people think that there's a type of alcoholism, but alcoholism goes very differently in many different people. There's functioning alcoholics, and then there's the extreme of what you see, like alcoholics that end up on the street, whatever like that. And he has an alcohol problem, and he did some shit not once, not twice, but 3 times, and still won't admit that he has a problem and will not apologize. Instead, the shit and behavior that he does when he gets drunk and try to make excuses. So I don't need that in my life. So I cut him out. Next Wednesday, I'm supposed to be being a fan at Panera Bread, and I just been getting all these different requests about doing customs and about wanting to meet, but they actually don't commit to meeting. So that's fucking annoying. Like, why do you fucking like message somebody to ask them like, hey, I want to have a session with you, but not commit fully to it? I don't understand that, fam. Like, can y'all explain that to me? So I don't understand that. So for those that are new and this is your first time actually listening to Tickle Lounge, let me tell you what this shit show of podcast is about. So as you can tell in the title, it's all about this amazing fetish that we have that's called tickling. And so we talk about different topics, concerns, issues, discussions within the tickling community. Do we add in some other fetishes to that? Yes, we do, but the main focus is tickling. So that is what this show is, well, show/podcast is all about. And me, your lovely host, I am a fetishist, which means that is somebody that has multiple different fetishes, and that on a regular basis, I play out these fetishes in my life. And I've been doing it since I was 18 years old. I am 37 right now. So you could do the math and figure out how long I've been doing this for, like 19 years. And then also I've been a amateur fetish / kink model since I was 19 years old. So for 18 years doing that. So in the fetish kink community size modeling industry for 19 years. So that is me. And I decided to make this podcast in 2015 because I wanted shit to say, y'all. I wanted to express myself. And yes, there's other podcasts that are maybe like this, but I kind of figure, like, do many of those people like literally have the same fetish as you have and like go through the same things y'all going through and thinking the same things that you guys are probably thinking, but just afraid to say it? I'm not afraid to say shit, y'all. Even if y'all don't like it, I'm not afraid to say it. So that's why I make this podcast. So I hope y'all enjoy it. And those that have been listening for quite some time, well, thank you for listening. And since this is the 24th of December, Merry Christmas Eve. And as you can tell, I'm very festive with my Rudolph. This is my cute little outfit that I am wearing today. For those of you that are in audio land and listening to this, what I am wearing is a black tank top, you could say. Yes, a black tank top, cute little Rudolph two-piece. It is a crop top that has Rudolph and little snowflakes on it, and then there's a skirt that has snowflakes on it and little black little and a white little thingy on it. It's a two-piece. Y'all, I ain't wearing this shit outside because it's fucking cold outside. I'm just wearing it inside the house to be like really, really festive for Christmas and everything like that. So that is what I'm wearing for those that are in audio land. People that are viewing me, isn't it cute? It is so adorable. I love it. $10 at Walmart when it was Christmas is over. I'm going to go get a Santa one. When Christmas is over, I'm going to, because it'd be 10 to 15 to 50 to 25% off. Yeah, y'all, that's when I shop for my Christmas gifts, y'all. I shop after Christmas because that's when everything's on sale. You gotta think smart, okay, or frugal. I don't know what you guys want to call that. So yes. So the topic that we are talking about today that I posted 2 weeks ago is how far have you traveled for a session? That's right. And so we're just going to explore all different type of sessions, y'all. So for you guys that are new to this kink fetish community, what the fuck is a session? So what a session is, let me tell you what the synonyms of it. Some people call it a session. Some people call it a scene. Some people call it play. And what these three things are that are basically synonyms of each other is that you are meeting with one or more people, depending how many people you want, but you meet with an individual that is going to indulge in your fetish or fetishes or your kinks. And that is basically what a session, scene, or play is. So this could be any type of fetish, kink, whatever you want. It could be tickling, it could be foot, it could be bondage, it could be BDSM, it could be anything that your heart desire. It could be not only one fetish, but a multiple of fetishes that you are doing in the scene or in this play or in this session. It's all up to you and the individual or individuals that you are playing with. So that's really what a session is. And so how this topic came about is that my favorite Tampa person, Tickler Bart, he's the one that suggested this because he told me that he's going to come and visit me in the future, next year, sometime in the future, visit me in Atlanta because he lives in Tampa and I live in Atlanta, which is about 6 to 7 hour drive. And he said that he's going to come and visit me and we're going to have a session. And from that conversation, he's like, hey, it'd be really cool if you did a podcast about how far have people traveled to have a session. I'm like, great idea. I love it. So that's what I posted 2 weeks ago. So for those that are new to Tickle Lounge, how can you follow this podcast, get updates, and be part of the discussion online? Well, I'm going to say there's 3 different ways. There could be 4, but let's just go with 4 because I could be wrong, missing one. So there are 4 different ways that you can follow this lovely podcast. The first way is on the actual podcast website that is called Blog Talk Radio /Tickle Lounge. That's all your audio stuff. So every single time I post a audio, it sends you a notification if you follow or subscribe to that. So the second way is on Facebook. So I have a Facebook page. It's called Tickle Lounge if you Google it on Facebook. And if you hit follow or subscribe, bam, there you go. And every time I upload an audio or a link of somewhat, it always sends you a notification. And that on Facebook, that Facebook page you can have the option of listening to the podcast, or you can watch it live like I'm doing on Zoom right here. The third way, I think there's only 3 ways, y'all, not 4. The third way is on my Tickle Lounge page on FetLife, which FetLife is just, it's just a Facebook for all different type of fetishes, from very mild and me to holy shit fuck, what is that? So there is a group page on there that's called Tickle Lounge, and you can subscribe to that. And I guess you can say the fourth way is that I do post the audio and the video on my personal social media pages, such as on my Facebook page, which is Sweet Piggy Jones or Janice Jones. I post on my Twitter, which is Sweet Piggy 6. And those are the 2 places that I post the topic, and also the audio and the video is on those 2 social media pages. So I guess there are 4 ways that you can follow this as well. So let's get into what our fellow community and Tickle Files has said about this topic. So once again, and I'm doing this on 2 computers, y'all, because I'm doing the Zoom on my work computer, and then I'm doing another on another computer. Okay, so on Twitter, this is what I wrote. I said, new topic for next week on Tickle Lounge: how far have you traveled for a session? What made you want to travel outside your city, state, and or country to have a session? What boundaries or guidelines that you set up? If you never travel, why is that? Okay, so I got several responses, which is amazing for Twitter, because usually people don't conversate with me on Twitter. Anytime I post the topic, people just heart it and like it, but they never actually engage with me. So I'm actually pretty shocked that people engage with me on this topic. Okay, so Punky AC said, I haven't been able to travel for a session due to money and work schedule. I can pronounce this word, constraints. Okay, so I'm actually deaf, for those that do not know, and I don't wear my hearing aids, so like enunciation a little bit hard for me because I forget how sounds are made. So scheduling conflict and having money problems. I understand that, because with inflation gone up for the last 3 years, I don't think any of us have money, or maybe some of us do, but not as much money. So totally feel you on that. And work, yeah, you gotta work because you gotta pay these high ass bills. Usually if I have a session, it's because someone is passing through MA, which for those that do not know, MA means Massachusetts, or I have sponsored their trip to Massachusetts. What the fuck? Did he just say sponsor? For those that do not understand what sponsor means, this dude will pay for you to come and visit him or her or they and in Massachusetts. Bro got money. I'm just gonna let you know that for you to pay for someone to come and see you, you got money. Fist bump, Punky AC. Okay, so Bobby, aka Sickly, says, I've been lucky to be able to travel for work. So when opportunities came, I look to connect with those in the area. That is very lucky. For those that travel for work, you are like set. That is like the coolest thing that your job can probably do for you. Also gave you really good benefits. In some cases, I still needed to drive a few hours, 3 at the max. Amen to that. I hate driving. So you're good with 3 hours to make it happen, and some were more worth it than others. Okay, so Mike Chambers says, I never traveled due to money issues. I feel you on that. Never had the money to travel long distance, and the area I live in has a few, but they never respond. I am so sorry, but I understand traveling long distance. And then King Reginator says, I never travel anywhere there's not a lot of meetups. I'm so sorry. And then on my Facebook page, only one person actually responded to it. So it was Al Solman. Love Al, by the way. I've done some in the past, but the last few years have been difficult to do so due to physical issues and commitments. I definitely think if you're established a great rapport with someone you want to meet, is definitely worth it. Totally understand about physical issues and commitments. Totally understand that. And then we have on my subreddit community. So I would just like to say, y'all, okay, if you guys are part of the Reddit community, there is a subreddit that's called r-tickling. I don't know the actual link or whatever, but if you like go on the reddit.com and put r little slashy thanky tickling, this is a really, really cool subreddit. It has discussions, it had people posting videos and like amateur videos and like professional videos and great discussions and pictures or whatever like that. And they're truly, truly engaging. Like ever since the last couple of months I started posting on here, this Reddit community has been like so supportive and so engaging. I love the Reddit community. I should have been doing Reddit like a long time ago with posting in them. So I want to thank you once again, Reddit community. So Penguin Babe says he traveled from Wisconsin to Boston. So I'm thinking that this is their Lurs or Switch or Lee. Then I traveled from Boston to Wisconsin. Then he came here again. Wow. For those that are not really up to date or know about the geography of United States, so Wisconsin is all the way over here, y'all. Boston is all the way over here. That's a long fucking distance. All right, that's a long fucking distance, all across the other side of the world of America. So one is over here, one is over here. That's a long fucking distance. So I applaud y'all for doing that, because that's some good shit. That is amazing. For me, as a female Lee, it wasn't about needing to travel far in order to session in general. There are plenty of closer lures, but I had developed very close and intimate friendship with this person through RP and texting over a course of a year plus. So it was worth it to see him. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. And then FTTKLR69 says, to NYC to Oxford, England. What? Oh my God. Oh, that's a big travel. Okay, you went across the ocean to see somebody. Oh my gosh, or came to see them. Okay. Oh, and the same person said New York to Amsterdam NL. Fucking what the hell? You must be rich or something, because that's a lot of money. Okay, ASD FGHJKL 123432188 says flying Cincinnati to Albany for an event, driving New Jersey to Cincy. I don't know how far that is, but that sounds like a lot of traveling. And then Grubenhammer says the furthest so far is around 2 hours. Distance-wise, it wasn't too far, but it required several train and bus transfer. Oh my God. You did like bus transfer and trains transfer group? Oh, you're a good person. Oh, I hope that session was so good, because I don't like people. I don't like being around people like that. Just you do all that bus travel and train transfers. Like, oh my goodness. So this is what your community has done when it comes to like traveling to see people. So in my pre-mommy days, before I became a lovely mommy to my adorable, now 10-year-old autistic son that I have, I did travel a lot. So between the ages of 18 to 25, because I got pregnant at 25, but then I had my son when I was 26. So from 18 to 25, for those 7 years, oh, I did a lot of traveling, y'all. I really did. What I did, so let me tell you all the places I traveled to. So when I was living in Florida, I traveled from Florida to Georgia and Georgia back to Florida. And then I traveled to Florida to South Carolina. And then I traveled to Florida to North Carolina. And then I traveled from Florida to Philly. And then I traveled to Florida to New Jersey. And that is the farthest. New Jersey is the farthest I ever traveled to. Now, people that have traveled to see me has been from Alabama to Florida, or Alabama to Georgia, South Carolina to Georgia, North Carolina to Georgia, Florida to Georgia. And then, of course, I have to give it up to my lovely Brits. I've had like 3 British people travel to come over here. Amazing. I just like to applaud the Brits. because y'all travel a fucking ocean to get here and everything else like that. Usually there was two of the Brits that I tickled and played with that actually was on vacation, and one of the stops are either Florida or Georgia. So they were like, hey, can I come and play with you? I was like, of course, because I love your fucking accent. Oh, British accent. They're so fucking sexy. Okay, we're not gonna derail off the fucking beautiful accents of the British. I'm sorry. I mean, really back in. And then one British that I actually play with, he literally did travel to America just to have a session with me and to have a session with another person. Amazing, right? Because I know that it must have not been cheap. And I know it must have been cost really expensive, but he has a really good job where he lives in Manchester. So yeah, so those are the people that have traveled to see me and that I had traveled to see them. So, and then also just driving within like Florida, I'm like that one person. I only make like a maximum of like 3 hours. If you no, let's be honest. 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours is my max of driving because number one, I hate driving. And so if you live further than 2 to 3 hours, I'll be like, we gotta meet in the middle here, son, or something like that. When I was 18 to 25, I did that. So I would travel within Florida 2 to 3 hours, and within Georgia 2 to 3 hours, and everything else like that. And I travel all over the state of Georgia and Florida, just having sessions with people and meeting them in the middle, or they came to see me, or I came to see them. Now, since I've been like pregnant and like birthed my son, whatever like that, traveling is like a zero. Okay, like it is definitely a zero because of the fact of the matter that I do have a amazing son, and he needs me. Even though he's 10 years old, he is on the spectrum. He has autism and other comorbidities that he has, which is a fancy word with he has other things going on. He has other disorders that he does have, and he needs me. So me traveling is down to zero. I don't travel outside my state. I really do not travel no more than an hour to meet somebody, because the fact of the matter is that I need to be very close in order if my son has an emergency, or if my service dog in training, which is Sammy, which you guys have seen before. He's an attention hog and he loves to be on camera because he thinks that he's cute, because he really is cute and he knows he's cute. And so he wants y'all to all see him. Those two are my boys. One is my human boy, one is my doggy boy. And I need to be very close in case there's an emergency with my two boys. So I limit travel less than an hour. So if you live less than an hour of me, we can still have a session. If you live more than an hour from me, can't do it, because the fact of the matter is that I need to be close to I need to be close to my boys in order that I can just jump in the car and drive in case there's an emergency that is happening with them. You guys can call it weird, you can call it whatever like that. It's just the mommy in me, and don't come at me with that, because I am a mother first more than my fetish or anything else like that. I'm a mom first, and my son and my doggy will always come first in my life. So traveling has been limited, which, do I miss traveling? I really do. I really do miss traveling around to meet people, because I actually love to travel. I like to be on the plane. I love to travel. Now, driving, I do not miss. I do not miss the long driving that I used to do when I was younger. But I miss being on a plane, and I miss being on the bus or the train and traveling to see a person and them showing me their city. That was really, really fun to me. And everything else like that. I really, really enjoyed the experience that I had during those 7 years that I was able to travel. I really, really enjoyed those experiences that I have, and they're very dear to me. Now, some of you guys are thinking, isn't that fucking dangerous? Yes, it is. I will admit it all day long. It is very, 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 very dangerous to travel to go have sessions. And what you're basically doing is that you're basically meeting up with a person that you are meeting from the internet, so already you know, like, danger, danger, danger. It is very scary. But this is what I always tell people. Number one, you have got to know that person very, very well. You have to have a repertoire and you have to have a rapport with that person. So what I used to do, actually, no, I didn't. In the very beginning, when I first started having sessions from the age of 18 and 19, I never met the person. I just like, oh, they messaged me. Oh, and let me just go and just have a session with them. That is wrong. Do not do that. That was me being naive and stupid, and I could have gotten myself hurt. So, and then when I was like 19 and 20, I learned like I need to stop doing that shit because it's really dangerous and I probably should meet them. And I went to workshops and whatever, and I told people what I was doing and went to munches. They're like, what the fuck are you doing? Are you trying to die? So they coached me and told me what I should do going forward, and let me give you the advice that they gave me. So what I was told at a BDSM munch is that if you're going to meet people to have sessions off a line, number one, you always need to meet them in person first. No matter how long you guys been talking to, there needs to be some type of like one-on-one meeting or whatever to make sure that you're not being catfished or anything else like that, and they look like what they have shown you in their picture. So for example, if you are doing like this long distance thing, like if you're coming from a different country, whatever like that, you need to FaceTime them. You know, this really cool thing called a phone. We got iPhones, we got Androids, we got iPads, we got everything. There is no excuse that someone cannot FaceTime you or Zoom you or Microsoft Meet you or Google Duo or whatever new technology we have out there for video chat. If a person denies you to deny you from seeing their face, run like Speedy Gonzalez, run like the Road Runner away from them, because no, that's shady as hell, and you don't need to have a session with them. If a person is unwilling to show you their face or show them a picture of themselves, a picture that is less than a year old, y'all, do not accept a picture that is less than a year old. If it's more than a year old, you cannot guarantee that that's that person, because we all look different as the years go by. Some of us have gained weight, some of us have lost weight, some of us have had cosmetic surgery. You don't know. So we're not always look the same that we do like year by year. So having them send you a picture that is less than a year old so you can kind of guess what they look like is very important. As well as if you guys are a long distance, y'all should always meet somehow face to face or like this on video land and whatever like that. Once again, the person refused to send you a picture or a person refused to video chat with you, run like the wind, run like Speedy Gonzalez, run like the Road Runner, okay? You got to run away from them, run like Sonic, okay? So you got to run really fast from them. Another thing is that you guys have to set up a really, really strict guidelines and boundaries like no fucking other. This is even more important than just setting up boundaries for the session, but y'all need to set up like what's going to happen if the other person flakes and cancels on you. What is going to happen with that? Trust me, y'all need to talk about that, because why? People are assholes and douchebags. That's the reason why. Now, most people will say that it's one gender opposed to the other, but it goes both ways. There are assholes and douchebags with men, and there are assholes and douchebags with women. Both genders can be assholes and douchebags. So you need to protect yourself, y'all. When it comes to traveling, you guys need to discuss, like, are we going to split this plane ticket or bus fare or train fare together? Or are you going to handle all of it together? And if something may happen, like, I don't know, a fucking pandemic like we've been in the last 3 years may happen. You guys need to talk about what happened. What if one person gets sick? Or what if you get called into work? These are things that you need to talk about for alternatives to what that may happen and look like. Another thing that maybe needs to talk about is like, where are you going to fucking stay at? Who's going to pay for your stay? Is it going to be like, split down the middle, or are one person going to take care of it, or the other person's going to take care of it? That's something that you need to think about going forth and discuss about. Another thing to be discussed about, as well as that I'm trying to think of, is, if you're using, sorry, I have an itch in my arm. If you guys are using a car, so I know that some people, they don't like to put wear and tear on their vehicle, so some people may rent a car. That's something you guys need to talk about as well. Like, are you going to cover the whole cost of that rent a car? Or are we going to split the bill of the rent a car? That is something that needs to be talked about. So these are things you need to consider when you guys are traveling as with it as well. Another thing that needs to be thought of when you're traveling is like, how am I going to put my bag of tricks that I like, that Tickler Bart says, my bag of tricks are basically my bondage shit onto the plane. Because guess what? You carrying handcuffs and all this other shit, woo, they're going to be ringing bells and everything. They're going to be like, what is this? Like, are you trying to like do a terrorist attack on the plane or something like that? What is this shit? So that's something you guys need to think about and talk about. If you're flying, how are you going to bring your bag of tricks on? Or do the other person have a bag of tricks? Or are you guys going to buy some bag of tricks together and split the cost of that? That's something that's really, really important to discuss and talk about as well. Another thing is that I'm trying to think of in my head when it comes to traveling is, yeah, so I already told you that you need to build rapport with, and you guys need to also talk about like safety. Like, that is really, really, really important. So if somebody is kind of like rushing you and pushing you to have a session with them and come and see them, that's a little bit of a yellow/red flag right there. You should be very, very cautious with that, especially if you're a woman. And I don't think many men understand like how dangerous it is for a woman nowadays, whatnot, and how like even more women are very like standoffish when it comes like meeting people, because we don't want to get fucking sexually assaulted, and stuff like that. And so I don't think a lot of men actually understand that, because you guys are men. And do women attack men? Of course they do. Of course it happens. Do we hear it a lot happening? No, we don't hear it a lot happening, but it does happen. But you hear more cases of men attacking women. So men, don't be so like pushy. And I know that a lot of you guys are so eager to have a session, and it comes across as creepy as AF. But you need to like slow your roll and dial it back, because your eagerness can turn into creepiness, which makes the woman like flee from you, because they're like, oh no, he is way too creepy. He's creepy AF. Bye-bye, deuces out. And you don't even mean to be. You could be this really nice, sweet guy, but you just come off as creepy and thirsty too. So that needs to be put in check as well. But yeah, that is some things, my tips that I will give you guys about if you guys want to travel. Now, I know that some of you guys did say that I don't travel because of money issues, which I totally understand, because this pandemic has fucked us all over, and inflation has grabbed us all by the fucking balls and has fucked us all in the ass. It's grabbed by the balls and then did a fucked up dance with us all in the ass. That's what inflation has done in the last 3 years. So I totally understand what you're talking about. But you can still travel. Even though you guys say you have money issues, you guys can still travel, because I'm a very frugal person, and I'm a very big saver. If you guys can put away every single week like $20 to $40, I know that a lot of people are like, what the fuck, that's a lot of money. And then some of you guys are like, oh, I can do that. $20 is basically 5-time visit basically 4 times a visit at Starbucks. If you guys, yes, because Starbucks is fucking expensive, y'all. Starbucks is like $5 a cup. So if you go to Starbucks every single day, you guys basically spending $35 a week. Like, so if you guys can put in $20 to $40 a week into a savings account, like make up a saving account for like traveling and whatever, and put that away, you can slowly see that you're going to be able to travel. If you're able to do that, it may take you a couple months to build up to that, but you still will see the benefit of that. So if you put $20 away for the month, that's $80 that you have saved up. If you put $40 away, that's $160 that you have saved up. And guess what? $80 to $160, that is a bus fare. That's the Greyhound. Sometimes that is a round trip ticket to certain places around United States. $160 will give you a round trip ticket with the Greyhound or the Amtrak, depending on what time of the season you go on. So if you do it for 2 months, well, that will be, I'm so sorry, $320. That's $320. That is for some plane tickets, not Delta. You want to fly Delta, which is really expensive, you need a little bit more money. But if you fly like Spirit and other low cost airline, that's a round trip ticket for $320. That's a round trip ticket. So you guys can travel, you just have to put money away for it. So it's something that you really want to do is travel, is just save. That's the real thing. And if you're not very good with saving, I said you really have to discipline yourself. You truly have to discipline yourself. Like I said, it doesn't have to be something really big. Putting $20 to $40 away in a savings account that you don't really look at, and just put that money away, it would start building and building and building and building and building and building and building. Y'all, I did that, and like overnight like that, I saved like $1,000. So it's very possible for y'all to do. That's if you really want to travel. So some of you guys are thinking, why would you want to travel though? Because they're like some of us, I'm going to say me personally, some of us live in cities. Well, we have flickers. Okay, I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just going to put that out there. I didn't have this issue when I lived in Tampa. So I'm going to talk about this issue since I've been living in Atlanta for the last 13 plus years. Since I had moved to Atlanta, there's a lot of flakes that are here. And even though everyone believes like, oh, there's a lot of foot models and tickle models and all this in porn industry and Atlanta and all this other stuff in entertainment, whatever like that. That's great. That's wonderful. But that doesn't mean that the men here want to have sessions. Okay, so there's a reason why Foot Nights is not in Atlanta and does not do parties in Atlanta, and why there are like no like really big fetish parties in Atlanta and whatever like that, because people do not come out for them. I don't know the reason why that is, but people normally don't come out for kinky and fetishist stuff. I don't know why. So it's very hard. And if you haven't played in a while, you get that itch, you're just like, I need a session. Like, no, it's like a drug, like you're on coke or you're on meth, because once you play, I'm going to give you guys a warning. Once you play, you can't go back, y'all. You can't go back. I'm going to tell you right now, it's like an addiction. I'm going to tell you right now, for those that never had a session before, and some of you guys are dreaming and like yearning and like fantasizing for a session, I can tell you right now, once you have a taste of what a session is like, your brain and your body's going to say, oh, that was good. I need another hit. I need another one. And then you're going to have another one. And you're going to be like, I need another one. Because that's just how it is. It's very addictive. And so some of us are very like, we need it, and we haven't been able to play for a while, and that's the reason why we travel. So it's because we can't find anyone in our city or like within like a 1 to 2 hour distance, so we have to travel to another city in order to have that happen, which I'm not opposed to traveling outside your city. And I always tell other guys that are in the foot and tickling and other fetishes that it's okay to want to travel outside your state or outside your city, outside your comfort zone. I think a lot of people don't want to travel is because they want it their way. I'm just going to be upfront and honest with you. You want it your way. You don't want to put in the work in order to get the results that you want. So a lot of people just want it really just hand it to them on like a silver platter, like, here's a session for you, my lord. That is what they want to have happen to them. And it's not going to happen like that unless you put in the work to get a session. And so that's why many of us travel outside the state. So money, yes, it's a reason, but once again, if you put money away and you save away, just like tuck it away, you could be able to travel. Now nobody said that you have to be big balling. Like some of our people on there that like pay to have people come to them. That means that they're balling. No one said you had to do that. But you can offer to pay half of it. So I will always recommend that contracts are very, very good. Okay, because I've talked to some lawyers that are very kinky and that are fetishes themselves, and they said like verbal commitment doesn't really hold up in court as much. Paper with a contract signed by a what's that person that stamps it? Officiant? Notarizer. The notary or the notarizer, that stands up in court a lot at small claims court. So I would behoove all you guys to just draw up a simple contract. This doesn't have to be like a spectacular, like lawyer type ish. This just is an agreement of a contract that says like, I'm just going to say Bob and Amy. Bob and Amy is getting into a partnership that we are going to pay half of the money for this trip. If anything is to happen, Amy or Bob will pay that Amy or whatever. And if the deal goes south, it will be taken to court. And then you have to pay court fees and all this other stuff like that. You can actually write that up, y'all. And once again, for me personally, I think it's a red flag if someone won't sign something like that. Because I'm like, why don't you want to sign that? Are you trying to jit me? Because once again, y'all, we are in times that money is very precious, and we don't have time to waste money and whatever like that. So if you are flying to see somebody and you're paying $320 or $360 for a round trip ticket, and they told you that they were going to pay half of that and they don't, and they like flake on you, what the fuck? And also to pay for an Airbnb or a hotel, which Airbnb and hotels have gone up some. Unless you're like a member of somewhere that you get member points and stuff like that. But let's just say the average cost for an Airbnb, if you want to like share a room in somebody's house, let's say it's like $40 a night. That could be expensive. How many nights you're probably staying? Let's say it's just an average of $40 a night, but if you're staying at a hotel, it's like a pretty decent hotel to be about $60 to $80 a night if it's pretty decent, whatever like that. So you're spending some money and whatnot. So, and then gas, oh my God, gas is going up so much, y'all. So just think about all that when it comes in that. You got to protect yourself, y'all. So I would totally devise up a contract for individual to sign. Either they can sign electronically. Electronically is very, very easy, y'all. And that still holds up in court. Or you can send it to them, they can print it out, and then you can get their actual signature, and then they send it, fax it back to you or scan it back to you. You can do that too. But I would caution y'all about someone that doesn't want to sign that. They're like, you should just take my word. No, motherfucker, I'm not taking your word because I'm coming out of my own pocket for shit. So that's really, really important to do. Cover your ass, y'all. It's very, very important. I'm trying to figure out, is there anything else that I need to say about traveling? No, except for just have fun. There has been a lot of great time that I had with traveling and whatnot. And for those that I have met, and people thinking like, well, I wanted to travel with this person, but they said they didn't want to travel to me and they didn't want to cover anything and I didn't want to do that, then that's perfectly fine that you just say, not for me. Because once again, these are men or women that want a session given to them on a silver platter, like they're kings or dukes or something. And that's not way life goes a lot of times. So I wouldn't even mess with those people and just say peace out and just keep it moving. That's what I would do, me personally. So when I tell people that I don't travel, and I have a damn good reason why I don't travel, is because of the fact that I have a child, that is my reason. So if someone has a valid reason, then yeah. Some people would tell me like, oh, that's not a good reason because X, Y, and Z does that. Well, that's great for X, Y, and Z, but I don't travel because I have a special needs child. So yeah, it all just depends on what you want and what is acceptable to you, or what excuses you want to hear about why people travel, why people don't travel. So yeah. Do I offer for people do I offer to pay half of something if people do travel to me? I do. Like if someone's traveling to me, I will pay either the hotel, like I will cover the cost of the hotel, or I will give them gas money or whatever like that. I do that because that's just the way I am. Now, do other models do that? Nah, I don't hear a lot of other models doing that, but I'm a different type of model. So there's that. So I hope you enjoyed this lovely podcast. And what are we going to be talking about next week or the week after next, depending if my son's going to be home or not? I'm trying to think, is he going to be home next week? He probably will. So I may be doing a podcast next week, or it may be in 2 weeks in the new year. I do not know yet. But I found something very, very, very interesting on a discussion on the subreddit on r/tickling. And what I found is that somebody was talking about mature tickling. And what they were talking about is that they made a post about like, why is mature tickling not getting the gems and the popularity that it deserves? Why is everyone so focused on like younger ladies being tickled, but not really into mature women being tickled? And that got me thinking. I'm like, oh, I first of all, that is a very good question that young man proposed of why is there so much focus and popularity on younger ladies getting tickled than opposed to older women being tickled? And you guys are probably wondering like, well, what's the definition of a mature woman? Well, it really just depends on the industry that you're in. In the porn industry, they will say that young women are between the ages of like 18 to 29. 18 to 30 is like young in the porn industry, and anybody that is 30 plus is considered mature in the porn and kink industry. Now some people would say that it's 40 and up is mature and whatnot, but you got to go with the industry. So some people say 35 and up, so I just say 30 and up is considered mature. 30 and below is considered young in the porn kink industry when it comes to like videos and pornography. So like tickling porn and like actual porn and all that other stuff that people like to watch, 30 and under is young and everybody loves to look at, but there's really not this thing for 30 and up for mature. But we have all these little acronyms as a myth, which those that don't know what a myth is, it's a mother you like the fuck. That's basically what it is. And there was that whole section of it. But is it really gaining in popularity? Is there a lot of men and women that are watching those type of videos? Whether it is FM or MF or FF, we even go with MM. Is there a lot of males or women that are watching a lot of mature and older males be tickled and whatnot. So just the maturity level of men and women, we're not going to mistake men, I'm so sorry. Let's discuss about, like, do you even like watching oh well, not but do you really like watching mature men and women or non-binary individuals be tickled on in tickle porn? And why do you think that there is not a popularity, or there is not this consensus to play with individuals that are older? Because I've noticed that, well, I haven't really seen like a big deal about it with me, because I am what you consider a mature person in the porn industry. I haven't really seen that be a problem. Yes, I have. Never mind. Wait, hold on. I've had seen an issue with it with younger men. So younger individuals that are 30 and less, they are tend to be very apprehensive to want to play with me because of my age. Now, once again, I only notice that in men that are 18 to 30. But we'll just say 18, 29. 18, excuse me, 18 and 29, I know that they are very, very apprehensive of wanting to play with me, because I guess they think that I'm an old hag or something like that. I do not look like an old hag, by the way. Thank you very much. My body and the way I look like is even better than some girls that are that are like 18 to 30 themselves. So even though I'm almost 40, I look damn good for being almost 40. I just like to say that. But there's still younger men that are very apprehensive to wanting to play with me because of my age. So I have noticed that it's like a like pushback. But men that are 30 plus, they don't fucking care. They're like, what? No. Yes, I still want to play with you because you're hot and you're beautiful and you're very ticklish and you have gorgeous feet. So yes, bring it. So I noticed that 30 plus have no issue whatsoever, but the 18 to 29-year-olds, they have like the biggest issue in the world. So I'm curious, why do we think that is? Why do we think that mature tickling for men and women are not like on the rise, even if it's a mature person that has a great figure like I do? There's still not that like representation and people flocking to watch the videos. And if you notice, a lot of producers, they don't really use mature individuals. They do use the 18 and 29-year-olds. So why is that? Let's have a discussion on that. I so would love to hear you guys' opinions on that. And I will be doing that podcast either next week on New Year's Eve or on January the 7th. I don't know which one when my son is not here. So I hope you enjoy this podcast, and I can't wait to hear your comments, your feedbacks, and everything on the topic for next week or in the next 2 weeks. So I hope everyone has a very happy Hanukkah if you celebrate Hanukkah. I hope everyone has a happy winter solstice if you celebrate that. I hope everyone have a merry or happy Christmas. For those that celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. So I just hope that all you guys have a great holidays. So be safe, be merry, and enjoy. Love you guys bunches. Bye bye.